Welcome to the Compassionate Newsroom, your gateway to transforming the heart and soul of journalism. I'm your host, Dr. Kortni Alston Lemon. I'm a former news director and television reporter turned happiness scholar. Now I train news leaders and journalists worldwide, teaching them how to cultivate workplace well-being and resilience with positive psychology. Each week, join me as I share evidence-based strategies and talk with some of the most inspiring people in the industry, including news leaders, journalists, trainers, and mental health experts. Together, we'll share actionable approaches to help you. Imagine a newsroom that not only cares about the story, but profoundly values the people behind them, a place where compassion is the competitive advantage. Don't just listen, become part of this transformative journey. Subscribe to and share the Compassionate Newsroom. Let's champion a more supportive, healthier, and happier newsroom culture, one episode at a time. Happy Wellbeing Wednesday. I'm Dr. Kortni. I am so happy that you're here. Today, we're going to be diving into a topic that's critical to every leader, managing stress to foster resilience and growth. The global leadership forecast reveals something pretty concerning. 71% of leaders say they've noticed a big jump in stress that they took on in their roles. But this isn't just something to be worried about. It's actually a wake-up call. It is a wake-up call for leaders to turn stress from a hurdle into a springboard for growth. Now, I proudly serve as the founding chair of the National Association of Black Journalists Wellness Task Force. This month marks our 1-year anniversary, and I'm super excited. But we took a bold step. We canceled our regular meeting this month to prioritize mindfulness and rejuvenation. I shared with our members in an email, as we continue to prioritize our well-being, we dedicate this time to recharge. And I also said, I really hope you do the same. It's crucial that we as leaders lead by example, showing that taking time to recharge is essential for maintaining long-term productivity and well-being. And what better way for our members to see it is for the task force to practice it. Now, let's explore some effective stress management strategies that leaders are adopting globally that was highlighted in the report, which I'll also show in the show notes. 1, embrace self-reflection. About 74% of leaders consider self-reflection their primary strategy. This entails a thoughtful pause to evaluate decisions, reflect on some personal growth, and even outline future plans, put them into action. During my own training sessions, I frequently spend time discussing with journalists and news leaders the significance of this activity. I often take pauses intentionally during my training so everyone can reflect. Why is this important? Well, it allows us to develop a well-being strategy. Just like any of our work, we need a plan to manage stress. Just like when we go to the gym and we begin to think about, or we walk in knowing we're going to work on cardio today. We also need to have a plan when it comes down to wellness. So tip 2 from the report says foster open discussion. 71% of leaders are engaging in open discussion. This approach not only alleviates stress, but it also builds a supportive culture that encourages transparency about mental health. For example, the NABJ Wellness Task Force is dedicated to the well-being of our members. Other organizations are providing well-being support in our industry every day. And some of the organizations that I greatly admire happens to be the American Press Institute, Radio, Television, Digital News Association, and of course, this podcast. We're here to make sure that you have resources and support you need, not only for your teams, but also for you. I often tell news leaders, it starts with you. So here's tip 3, engage with learning resources. About 46% of leaders in the report turn to learning resources to manage stress. This can include books, workshops, training that equips them with new skills to tackle everyday challenges effectively. So these are things to keep in mind when you are building your plan about having resources that you're going to utilize. And one of the things that I really wanted this podcast to be, and I'm so grateful to see it, is it being a resource for newsrooms. It being a resource for not only the collective in terms of our team, but also individually as it relates to ourselves. I'm going to give you some bonus tips, not mentioned in the report, but essential for cultivating a resilient leadership style. Start to look at what wellness practices looks like within your institution. So consider integrating structured wellness programs or practices into your organizational culture. This might mean setting up peer support, offering regular wellness assessments, and ensuring employees have access to mental health resources. I actually trained a group of media professionals working in public relations a couple of years ago. One of the things I found fascinating that's really unique from most organizations that I train is that they already had the data in regards to their team and their thoughts about well-being and what they wanted, which is one of the reasons why they actually called me in to do the training. That's really important, to start collecting data from your team to better serve them. What are they looking for? What do they desire? What do they need? Then evaluate and adapt is crucial to continuously evaluate the effectiveness. Remember, there's no one-size-fits-all approach. That's why it's important to evaluate. So stay open to feedback, be ready to adapt, and really think about the process to ensure your approach remains relevant and effective. That's something to consider for your newsroom, but for yourself as a manager, evaluate what's working for you. Give yourself grace along the way to explore what works and what doesn't for you. And you always know this podcast is here to support you every step of the way. Embracing effective stress management is not just good leadership practice, it's essential for creating a healthy, resilient, and productive workplace and a healthier, resilient, and productive you. Let's keep this conversation going and continue to take proactive steps to manage stress and promote well-being in our lives and our teams. See you next week. Thanks for tuning in to the Compassionate Newsroom podcast. Together we can transform workplace well-being in news. If you found value in today's episode, please share it with a colleague to help foster a supportive environment in the industry. And don't forget to subscribe and also visit our website for more resources at thecompassionate newsroom.com.